Welcome, everybody, to the 2026 January meeting of the Metropolitan Washington Old Time Radio Club. And I wish all of you a very happy new year. It's wonderful to have you all here. And we have a lovely program tonight, so I hope you all enjoy it. We have some favorites who are going to be stepping in to complete some tasks. Let me see. So before we get started with our first 15, I would like to encourage all of you to mute yourselves. If you can't or don't, I am happy to step in and do that for you. Now, do we need tech support for
Yes.
Lawrence? All right.
Yes, I need to be deified for his presentation.
So you are his co-conspirator in this.
Yes, yeah. They call us Fat Man and Robin, you know.
We'll be going back and forth. I'll be leading off with the live, and then we'll have the tech, and then I'll finish with the live.
Okay, well, let me get the co-hosting out of the way so we're in good shape. But Lawrence, you're not displaying anything, are you? Or are you?
No.
Okay, so I don't have to make you a co-host as well.
That's correct.
All right, great. Good stuff. Well, John is the co-host, so he has the keys to the kingdom. So you can blame disruptions on him if you wish. But for the moment, now Lawrence's program is a mystery to me. So I guess there are only two people in this collection of people who actually know what you're going to talk about tonight for our first 15, Lawrence. So take it away.
Okay, John, get me on the screen.
You have to control that. We can hear you.
Swap video and shared screen.
I don't know.
Yeah, there. That should be it. That should be it there. Yeah, there we go. Okay. All right. Well, Happy New Year, y'all. And that should be a clue to where we're going with this. But in any case, I'm delighted to be the first presenter of the new year. And I'm also looking forward to being the opening act for yours truly, Johnny Dollar, as presented by yours truly, Johnny Abbott. I think that will be the highlight of the program, but I'm going to see if I can't get your interest aroused a bit, and I purposely try to obfuscate what the program is. So let me just tell you again, without reviewing anything, that I'm presenting a selection from an early morning weekday entertainment program featuring a music legend who performed in a genre rarely ever heard in our club programs. So I'm going to set the stage for you now, and I think that it is now a week. It's a morning in April. It's approximately 7 o'clock in the morning. By the terms of the census, you are a homemaker. You have it's 1951. You've gotten your husband out the door. He's off to the plant or to the mine, or since this is probably a fairly rural area yet, that's receiving this broadcast that we're going to cover, you will find that he may be out back on feeding the chickens or slopping the hogs or doing something on the land that you either own or are sharecropping. You also, since it's in the post-war baby boom, you might have one child old enough at least to go to school. So you've gotten that child kind of on the route to getting ready and getting out the door. And you're looking forward to a radio program that comes on every weekday morning at 7:15 for 15 minutes. And you're going to sit down with a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And we're going to turn on the radio and take it away, John.
Mother's Best Flour brings you Hank Williams.
got a feeling called the blues. Oh, Lord, since my baby said goodbye. Lord, I don't know what I'll do, 'cause all I do is sit and sigh. Oh, Lord, couldn't live.
The Millers of Mother's Best Flour, Mother's Best Farm Feeds, and Mother's Best Self-Rising Cornmeal bring you the one and only lovesick blues boy, Hank Williams, the Mother's Best Music Makers, and yours truly, Mother's Best little old boy,
Cousin Louis Buck.
Hey, that's me. Howdy, fellas, and mighty glad to see you in the Mother's Best kitchen this morning. Hank, how you doing, boy?
Greetings, Louis. Everything's fine. You feeling good?
Oh, I'm spry this morning.
Everything's good as Mother's Best. That
Yes,
means
it
it's
is.
perfect.
Yes.
We're awful glad to be with you again this morning, folks. We got a brand spanking new tune here that ain't never been sung on the air before, Louis. This is the first one. You's a songwriter. Sit over there now and tell me what you think of this one. Nobody's never heard this one but me and the record company. My next number you're going to hear for long on record, one called I Can't Help It If I'm Still in Love with You. Today I passed you on the street, and my heart fell at your feet. I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. There was another by your side, and he looked so satisfied. And I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. A picture from the past came slowly stealing as I brushed your arm and walked so close to you. Then suddenly I got that old time feeling, and I can't help it if I'm still in love with you. It's hard to know another's lips will kiss you and hold you just the way I used to do. Oh, heaven only knows how much I miss you, and I can't help it if I'm still in love with you.
Yes, sir, that one will
got
go
him,
places sure as the world, Hank.
Brand spanking new and good, Louis.
I like that one.
Over here doesn't but me and you and the folks that just listen now. You know, when a woman buys cornmeal, I think she asks herself these important questions. One, is this cornmeal absolutely clean? And two, will this cornmeal give my bacon the real fresh corn flavor? And three, is this cornmeal easy to use? Now, if you're buying Mother's Best cornmeal, the answer to all three of your questions, friends, is absolutely yes.
That's right, Hank. The answer is yes. Mother's Best is absolutely clean cornmeal. Yes, Mother's Best will always give your baking that real fresh corn flavor. Yes, Mother's Best is easy to use. Now, let me give you the reasons for these answers. Mother's Best cornmeal is absolutely clean because it is thoroughly washed 2 ways, washed by water and washed by air. This is one reason why Mother's Best always gives your baking that real fresh corn flavor. Now, you can buy Mother's Best cornmeal regular style, or for easier baking, use self-rising. When you use self-rising, you don't have to add any salt, soda, or baking powder. They're already added in, exactly measured in to assure the same perfect results and to save you time. So if you want something really good, if you want cornmeal that's really clean, cornmeal that gives your baking that real fresh corn flavor, cornmeal that's easy to use, ask your grocer today for Mother's Best cornmeal, regular style or self-rising. It's guaranteed or your money back. How about that, Hank? You can't do any better than that now.
No, but I didn't get to sing the biscuit blues. I was fixing to sing them the other way. I love
you
to have
just
that
save it.
gal around. Her cornbread is the best in town.
Always bakes it nice and brown.
That's right.
Because she uses Mother's Best.
Uh-huh. Best, Mother's best. Best in town, Mother's best. That don't rhyme, does it, huh? All right. Don't have to rhyme when you use Mother's best.
That's right.
The words don't, because it'll rhyme if you use Mother's best. Your baking will, I'll guarantee you. Cornbread, biscuits, or anything else, when you use Mother's best, you use the best. Right now, we're going to have a little steel tune. The boys are all warmed up here this morning. Here's one called Panhandle Rag. I guarantee you ain't never heard it played that way before. You probably never will hear it played that way again either. Friends, right now, it's hymn time on our show. We got one here that I think is an awful pretty number. All you folks that have written in and asked for our hymns, here's one called Beautiful... I don't forgot the name of it, boys. Gathering flowers for the master's bouquet in the gear of Eve, fellas. You ready now? Death is an angel sent down from above, sent for the buds of the flowers we love. For each soul that blooms in this world must decay. For each bud is a flower in the master's bouquet. Gathering flowers for the master's bouquet. Beautiful flowers that will never decay. Gathered by angels and carried away, forever to bloom in the master's bouquet. Loved ones are passing each day and each hour, passing away as the soul of a fly. Truly it's so far in heaven's own way. Each soul is a flower in the master's bouquet. Gathering flowers for the master's bouquet. beautiful flowers that will never decay. They're gathered by angels then carried away, forever to bloom in the Master's bouquet.
Thank you, Hank. That is a pretty song there. Well, now you're going to get a chance to sing the Mother's Best Blues because I'm going to talk about Mother's Best Flour. Mother's Best Flour for the most delicious biscuits your family ever tasted. That's right, the cakes, biscuits, bread, and pastries that you make with Mother's Best are extra fine, extra delicious every time. Mother's Best is finest quality flour, milled for finest baking results. Every sack contains family-tested recipes, too, and a valuable coupon for your complete set of lovely Roseanne silverware. Get Mother's Best enriched flour, either plain or self-rising today, won't you?
I love to have that gal around. Her biscuits are so nice and brown. Her pies and cakes beat all the rest, 'cause she bakes them all with Mother's Best. All right, you got him the biscuit blues. Really got him this morning. How much time we got, Cousin Louis? Got about a minute and a half. Let's let Burrhead continue on there. He was doing pretty good. Here's Burrhead. Let's see if we can wake Bill Cheatham up this time of the morning, huh?
I bet we can.
Huh? Let's see if we can. Thank you a lot there, Jerry. Jerry, McHugh Burrhead 1A Rivers. Friends, we got to go. Being the good Lord's willing and the creeks don't rise twixt our house and here, we'll see you again in the morning. Until then, the best of everything to you, and that's Mother's Best.
You know, neighbors, it takes a high-quality starting ration to get chicks off to a good, fast start in life. That's why so many folks use Mother's Best Chick Starting Mash. Here's a feed that contains everything chicks need for rapid growth and development, and Mother's Best Starting Mash is now fortified with C87 and antibiotic feed supplement. The new growth factors. When chicks get Mother's Best Starting Mash with C87, they shoot up almost like weeds and develop into better layers and good, tender meat chickens. Ask your grocer or feed dealer for Mother's Best Chick Starting Mash today. In Hohenwald, Tennessee, your Mother's Best dealer is Lewis Farmers Incorporated. In Lawrenceburg, you can get Mother's Best Starting Mash or any of the other fine Mother's Best feeds from Mr. Niedergrass there in Lawrenceburg. So go by to see Mr. Niedergrass there in Lawrenceburg. Now until in the morning, this is Cousin Louis Buck speaking for Hank Williams and all the Mother's Best music makers, saying the best of everything to you, neighbors. And that's Mother's Best every single time. Goodbye now.
Well,
Thank
there's Hank. And hope that would wake you up in the morning, I think, in a nice, very nice way. The more I hear this program, and not just because I picked it out, and not just because it's Hank Williams, which fortunately, my goodness, we get him to actually introduce a new song that turned out to be one of his greatest hits. To me, I more and more listen to it, and I come up with a conclusion that this is literally the perfect 15-minute program. Think about it. It's divided into 3 segments. Your first segment is the star of the show. No matter who it was. If it wasn't Hank, it would be some local celebrity, whatever. And he's performing his number. And in this case, it was rather slow and rather even, you could say, even negative. The second segment was the opposite. It was a counterpoint. You had the musicians, who are, all splendid musicians, doing something up tempo. So you to offset that. And then you conclude with the third segment, which is the hymn, which is sort of an overarching concept and vision. And you close the entertainment parts with that. It works the same way for the sponsor. As you think about it, the sponsor got, in this case, it's a sponsor that has a lot of products. They're not selling tires. They're not selling motor oil. They're selling a lot of different things that people use and use for both humans and animals. So you've got a commercial for corn, you got a commercial for a wheat product, and then you at the end you have a commercial for feed for animals, in this case chicks, and which also in turn allows them in the third segment to interact with their dealers, to give free advertising to their dealers, and in turn gives the dealers an incentive to keep pushing their product so that they get that free advertising. So, and then of course, what else could you ask for but the offer of a premium, a set of silverware? Now, so this checks all the boxes. This checks all the boxes. So, the recording you heard was made, as I said, in 1951, and although there's some indications in the various articles and things that are consulted that Hank may have been recording some of these programs, presenting, I should say, some of these programs as early as 1949 or 1950. All of the recordings that we have are from 1951. 51 is literally the top of his career. And that's one part of it. And the second part is because it is the top, they go out on the road a lot more. And so therefore, they are recording on 16-inch transcription discs, so they're programs. So, unfortunately, there's not too much detail about it, or at least that I've uncovered. So I got the impression that, let's just say, for example, that the program we heard was actually live, and it was then and recorded at the same time. So it was, let's say it was Wednesday, but then they stayed in the studio to get a second recording, the one that they would use on Thursday, because these transcription discs that exist have two programs each on them. So let's just say they stayed there then, and then since if they were going out on the road, then let's say maybe they stayed there long enough to record another program for Friday and another program for Monday, so that would cover it. So they'd have two transcriptions discs, they'd have four programs, they'd have their audience, their fans would not miss a thing, and they would think that they were getting something live each day, and in a way they were. In a way they were. You can tell how relaxed they were. And it was pretty informal, and that's been commented on numerous times about that. Unfortunately, Hank's career was way too short. He was born with spina bifida, which is a situation of the spine, and it's very complex, and there's several different categories of it. The bottom line is, in his case, it had constant pain throughout his whole life, and unfortunately it led him at times, and perhaps other things as well, to alcohol and to opioids, etc., etc. Unfortunately, he died and I'm sure many people are aware of they've heard this before, but he died in the back seat of a car driving from one concert to another overnight. And although somewhere during New Year's Eve 1952 or early New Year's Day 1953, he passed away. They used the date of 1953 because that's when, of course, they stopped and at a place in West Virginia, and it was discovered that he had passed away. The one thing that amazes me is that what else could there have come? What else could he have left us had he stayed with us? And I don't know if people realize this, but at the time that he died, He was only 29 years old. Think about that. 29 years. So I have great respect for Hank. I love his music. I'm not the biggest Western country music fan. I have the periods that I like, and other than that, and I hope that a lot of you out there at least enjoyed this one. And I wanted to get some more music into our programming, and I wanted to get a little different kind of music into the program because, as you know, I'm usually otherwise dedicated to big bands and the swing music of the 30s and the 40s. So I hope you enjoyed this, and if there's any comments or questions, I'd be happy to receive those.
Well, I would like to say that I think it was a lovely program, and I applaud your interest in sort of diversifying, if you will, and sharing this recording, which I thought was absolutely delightful. I also don't know a lot about country music, but when one hears something of such high quality, whether you know a lot about it or not, it lands with you. And that certainly happened to me tonight. And I didn't know as much about Hank Williams then as I know now. Thank you. Thank you, Lawrence. Does anyone have any other questions, curiosities, observation? Wayne?
I just wanted to say thank you so much, Lawrence, because I don't have much chance to hear Hank Williams Sr. I've heard Hank Williams Jr. I do not care for the son. But the dad, he was right on. Thank you, Lawrence.
You're most welcome.
Wendy?
Yes, John.
Would you please deify me before the quiz starts? And then we'll reverse that, for my presentation.
I'm sorry, what were you asking?
Please
I didn't follow that.
undeify me.
Can I
so
what?
I can take the quiz.
Oh, I got you. All right, sure, no problem. Now, we have a raised hand for Lawrence, I think. It's someone on the phone, 623-800-8089. Would you like
It's me.
Oh, it's Joni. Wonderful.
Yep. Well, I've never been much of a country music fan, but I remember when I was growing up, I heard Hank Williams, and he had a lot of songs that were on the pop charts as well. And I just loved him. And I thank Lawrence. I thank you, Lawrence, so much for playing the show. I really, really enjoyed it. So thanks again.
You're most welcome. I'm glad I could provide something that would bring pleasure to you and as well as some of the others as well.
Thanks again.
Any other questions or observations? Praise for Lawrence's program. All right. Well, I think that we probably need to move along, but Lawrence, thank you again. The really outstanding program. You and John make an unbeatable team when it comes to this stuff. So, John, I will remove your co-hosting so that you can take the quiz. Revoke. They've changed the word. Now you're not a co-host, so no problem. And we move to the first, not the first 15, the questions in the quiz, very kindly once again provided by Frank Morgan, and it is actors and their roles, and Kelly Gray is our quiz queen of the month, and I will make Kelly a co-host so she can manipulate the poll.
Thank you so much.
You're more than welcome. Take it away, Kelly.
Okay, so okay. Do you all see the poll?
No.
Okay, let me see here.
Share screen.
I see Oh, launch. Let me click launch. But that will okay.
Now it's on. Thank you.
Excellent. Okay. So hello everyone, and here we go. Okay. And yes, and I'll add my thanks to Frank for these questions. The topic is actors and their roles. Question 1. Dick Powell was Richard Diamond, but he was also the star of what other program? A. Night Beat. B. This Is the Story. C. Rogues Gallery. Or D. The Lineup. And again, question 1. Dick Powell was Richard Diamond, but he was also the star of what other program? Was it A. Night Beat? B. This Is the Story. C. Rogues Gallery. Or D. The Lineup. Question 2. Raymond Burr played Lieutenant Hellman on which of these programs? Was it A. Fort Laramie, B. Gunsmoke, C. Story, or D. Pat Novak for Hire? Again, question 2. Raymond Burr played Lieutenant Hellman on which of these programs? Was it A. Fort Laramie, B. Gunsmoke, C. Police Story, or D. Pat Novak for Hire? Question 3. Georgia Ellis was Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke. Where else was she in the cast? Was she A. Rogers of the Gazette? Or where else was she in the cast? On A. Rogers of the Gazette, B. Big Town, C. Night Editor, or D. The Big Story? Oh, and I see Joni has a hand up. Do you have a question, Joni?
I can't get the hand lowered.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if it was
I'm sorry.
Oh, no, I just didn't know if it was something I needed to change. Okay. Once again with question 3, Georgia Ellis was Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke, and where else was she in the cast? A. Rogers of the Gazette, B. Big Town, C. Night Editor, or D. The Big Story? Question 4. Clarence Hartzell was Ben Withers on Lum and Abner. On what show was he Uncle Fletcher? Was it A. Father Knows Best, B. Vic and Sade, C. The Life of Riley, or D. Fibber McGee and Molly? And again, Clarence Hartzell was Ben Withers on Lum and Abner. On what show was he Uncle Fletcher? Was it A. Father Knows Best, B. Vic and Sade, C. The Life of Riley, or D. Fibber McGee and Molly? Question 5. Want to hear Brian Donlevy in a lead role? Then you should listen to A. Calling All Cars, or B. Dangerous Assignment, C. I Was a Communist for the FBI, or D. Indictment? Again, question 5. Do you want to hear Brian Donlevy in a lead role? Then listen to A. Calling All Cars, B. Dangerous Assignment, C. I Was a Communist for the FBI, or D. Indictment? Question 6. Arthur Q. Bryan was Doc Gamble on Fibber McGee and Molly. He was also one to play Lieutenant Walt Levinson on this show. Was it A. This Is Your FBI, B. The FBI in Peace and War, C. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, or D. Dragnet? Question 6. Arthur Q. Bryan was Doc Gamble on Fibber McGee and Molly. He was also one to play Lieutenant Walt Levinson on this show. Was it A. This Is Your FBI, B. The FBI in Peace and War, C. Richard Diamond, Private Detective, or D. Dragnet? Question 7. Before he played the governor of Hawaii on TV's Hawaii Five-0, Richard Denning was a co-star of this show. Was it A. Mr. and Mrs. North, B. Granby's Green Acres, C. The Couple Next Door, or D. Meet the Meeks? Question 7. Before he played the governor of Hawaii on TV's Hawaii Five-0, Richard Denning was a co-star of this show. Was it A. Mr. and Mrs. North, B. Granby's Green Acres, C. The Couple Next Door, or D. Meet the Meeks? Question 8. John Dehner was everywhere on radio, but where was he as Jeremy Kendall? Was it A. Have Gun Will Travel, B. The Six Shooter, C. Frontier Gentleman, or D. Death Valley Days? Question 8. John Dehner was everywhere on radio, but where was he as Jeremy Kendall? Was it A, Have Gun Will Travel, B, The Six Shooter, C, Frontier Gentleman, or D, Death Valley Days? Question 9. Virginia Gregg was also everywhere on radio, but where was she the gruff-voiced Evangeline Parker? Was it on A, Little Orphan Annie, B, Night Watch, C, Our Miss Brooks, or D, The Story of Dr. Kildare? And again, question 9. Virginia Gregg was also everywhere on radio, but where was she the gruff-voiced Evangeline Parker? Was it A, Little Orphan Annie, B, Night Watch, C, Our Miss Brooks, or D, The Story of Dr. Kildare? And last but not least, question 10. We all know that Jack Webb was Sergeant Friday. On what show did he work for the Lion's Eye? Was it A, Pete Kelly's Blues, B, The Jack Webb Show, C, Jeff Regan Investigator, or D, Johnny Madero, Pier 23? And again, question 10. We all know Jack Webb was Sergeant Friday, but on what show did he work for the Lion's Eye? A, Pete Kelly's Blues, B, The Jack Webb Show, C, Jeff Regan Investigator, or D, Johnny Madero, Pier 23? And of course, we will leave the poll up until it's time to reveal the answers. So please be sure to vote. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Kelly. That was just great. And thank you, Frank, for your quiz. It will be fun to see how that turns out. So now, I think next up is John Abbott, who I will once again make co-host for this proceeding. It's nice that your surname starts with A, John, because it puts you way high up on the list.
Many times in my life, I cursed that because I was always the first one who got, all the dirty stuff like, I need somebody to help clear the blackboards. Okay, kiddies, it's time for your polio shots.
Very good. Well, you now have the keys to the kingdom again. So I will turn the program over to you. Again, I urge people to mute themselves if they do not have a speaking role in John's presentation.
Okay. Tonight's presentation is going to be my favorite old-time radio program, yours truly, Johnny Dollar, and a newly discovered episode of said program called The Coin of the Realm Matter. Joe Webb, who we've had many times as a speaker, over the years, he has been working with the old-time radio researchers to convert a large collection of tape reels, discs, anything that seems but cuneiform tablets from their current format into a digital format. And he's got like 10,000 rolls of tape that they have been working their way through. But in April of last year, on one of those reels, Joe struck gold. He found a previously unknown, uncatalogued, and uncirculated episode of Johnny Dollar, The Coin of the Realm Matter. And once he did that, he kind of threw it over the wall and said, "All right, Abbott, it's your problem. Figure out where it fits in the catalog." So, like everybody else, when I have a problem concerning data, I went to my database and pulled out a list of all the Kramer programs, because the Mandel Kramer was the Johnny Dollar on this program, and looked at all the programs that I didn't have. And as you can see on the screen there are like 5 programs that we didn't have. One of them was a program that was preempted by Bing Crosby, but there are 4 other programs that, I don't have them. Nobody's, excuse me, nobody seems to know anything about them. So I went to a document which I created, it's been 10 years now, when I was working on my second edition, called the Next Week Tags. And a lot of Johnny Dollar episodes, next week we're going to do A, B, and C. Well, I collected all of these together and started looking at the Next Week tags in that area between the early 1960s, where we would be looking, and got down to the Mad Bomber matter there on November 26th. The tag for that was next week, a beautiful girl, a handful of coins, and a mysterious disappearance. That fit the program to a T. So we were able then to take it and put it into the catalog where it belongs. In the process, I figured out that there was one program in there which really didn't exist. So we deleted that. Everything fits. So I had a complete catalog from the beginning of the Bob Reddick programs all the way down through the end of the Mandel Kramer programs. And I was able to get everything to fit within that hard stop that I have on December 24th, 1961. Everything was just lining up. Well, you've heard me talk enough. I've got here the pictures of the individuals who will star in this particular program. Mandel Kramer, Terry Keane, William Redfield, Larry Haynes, Herb Duncan, and of course the writer Jack Johnstone. There's one player, though, Douglas Parkhurst, which we don't have a picture for. He was a very private individual. So that being said, I hope everybody has their bag of popcorn, their bag of Jujubes or Mike and Ike's or whatever, and that great big RC Coca-Cola, because we're going to listen to the Coin of the Realm matter. And bear in mind that as you're listening to it, you're in the first audience to hear this program since it was broadcast in December of 1961. That's what, 60 odd years? So write that in your diary tonight. Here we go.
Johnny Dollar.
Hi, Johnny. Bert Helfer.
Bert, how are you?
Big as life and twice as natural, Johnny. How goes it with you?
Up until 5 seconds ago, not so good.
Oh, trouble.
Well, not a thing, not now.
What do you mean?
Well, 5 seconds ago, I didn't have an assignment to work on to help pay the rent. Now I have.
Oh.
Well, haven't I?
I don't know. Have you?
Well, surely you didn't call just to pass the time of day.
Of course not.
Well, then?
What are you doing for lunch, Johnny?
Lunch?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well?
Having it with you, I suppose.
Good. How's about meeting me over at the Hearthstone in, say, 15, 20 minutes?
Can't see any reason why not.
And I'll foot the bill.
Oh, I see. Okay, Bert, shall I arrive with bags packed, ready to travel?
Travel? Where to?
Wherever I have to go on this insurance investigation you're going to hand me.
Now, who said anything about an investigation?
When you made this call, when you offered to buy lunch? And knowing you the way I do, don't kid me, Bert.
No, you and that suspicious mind of yours.
Oh, why, sure.
Listen, we haven't seen each other in a long time, and I just thought we could tie on a bib and talk, that's all.
Yeah? Talk about what?
Oh, skates and skis and fishing and golf and girls and... Hey, speaking of girls, Johnny...
Now, there's something that finally makes sense.
Now, yeah, listen. You know that luscious, lovely little Lucy Harmon, don't you?
Lucy Harmon?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
But if she's all of that, Bert, what about her?
Nothing. But with your great big eye for charm and beauty and the fair sex, I just thought you might have known her.
What about her, Bert?
Nothing. Not a thing. Honest.
Come on now, Sunshine. That bush you're beating around is getting pretty thick.
What? What are you talking about?
You tell me.
Oh, Johnny, you and that suspicious mind of yours.
You said that.
I'll see you at the Hearthstone, okay? Well?
Okay, Bert. Okay.
The CBS Radio Network brings you Mandel Kramer in the exciting adventures of the man with the action-packed expense account. America's fabulous freelance insurance investigator,
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Expense account submitted by Special Investigator Johnny Dollar. Attention, Bert Helfer, Trinity Mutual Insurance Company, Home Office, Hartford, Connecticut. Following is an account of expenses incurred during my investigation of the Coin of the Realm matter. Expense account item 1. $1 even for a cab into the Hearthstone, where Bert had already arrived, taken a table, and was toying with the olive in a pair of martinis.
Well, what took you so long, Johnny?
Hi, Bert.
I mean, these martinis are liable to get cold.
Oh, we can't let a thing like that happen. Go.
To the gods and goddesses.
And us.
Oh. First one of the day really sets my teeth on edge.
Well, my first one of the day usually doesn't come till after 5 p.m., but as long as you already have them sitting here.
Well, you know how it is. First time we've been together in a long time kind of calls for celebration.
Of course.
And let's face it, Johnny, a couple of these do sort of help to get the conversation rolling.
Conversation about what, Bud?
Well, I'm sure you don't want to talk religion or politics.
You're so right.
And I gave up skating and skiing after I busted an ankle last winter.
Chicken.
Fishing's out of season, and it's too cold for golf unless you happen to be a diehard, and I'm not, and I don't think you are.
Check.
But girls? Now, there's something a couple of gay young bucks like you and I can always talk about. Right, Johnny?
All right, Bert, let's have it.
What?
You mentioned Lucy Harmon. Well,
I thought you said you didn't know her.
I don't.
I just don't understand, man.
Well,
I always thought you were the one guy who knew them all. All the really smart, charming, pretty ones, that is. And Johnny, so help me, just one look at that Lucy, you'd completely flip your lid. She's about 5'3", blonde hair, green eyes. Green eyes, Johnny. And a figure that would make any Miss America hang her head in shame. Here. Let me show you this picture of her. Here. Now, how do you like them grapes?
Hey, not bad.
Not bad, he says.
All right, she's lovely. She's beautiful. She's gorgeous.
She is an ever-living doll. Deluvious, that's the word.
That's a word?
And, Johnny, she's the only gal ever made me think seriously of putting on the ball and chain. Only trouble was she wouldn't have me or my empty pocketbook. She's what's made me what I am today. A heartbroken old bachelor.
Bird, an old roy like you with a broken heart?
Well, but she's a dream, Johnny.
All right, Bert, you've made your point. How, when, and where do I meet her?
Now, that's just it. You gotta find her first.
What?
Now, don't tell me you don't want to. I mean, to meet up with this delicious little cookie.
Oh, after all that build-up, I wouldn't dare say no.
You gotta find her, Johnny. And bring her back to me.
Well, why, Bert, if she's already turned you down?
So I can hand over the 191 G's.
The what?
Sure. 191,000 insurance money.
Insurance on what?
On her husband, Jerry.
Her husband?
Right. So her real name is Lucy Harmon Nichols.
Oh, fine. Pal. You give me the big pitch, get me all excited about her, and then... Wait a minute. Jerry Nichols?
The late Gerald K. Nichols.
Playboy.
Heir
to the old Nichols oil fortune.
Right, that he and Lucy took exactly 3.5 years to reduce to just exactly nothing.
Oh, wait a minute now, Bud. Something happened to him out on the West Coast.
That's right. He disappeared from around here one day, and the next thing they knew, he'd run his car off a cliff into the blue Pacific just north of glamorous Malibu Beach. They managed to salvage what was left of the car, but no sign of his body was ever found.
I thought that was supposed to have been a suicide.
Yeah, and that's what the company hoped, but they couldn't prove it. So now we've got to pay her off to the tune of 191 grand.
Oh, my. All this beauty and all that money. Not bad.
Well, I kind of thought it might bring out the beast in you, Johnny. And if you have ever thought of standing up in front of a preacher, you could do a lot worse.
Well, now, take it easy, will you?
Trouble is, though, now she's disappeared. At least she doesn't answer the phone or the letter I sent to the little apartment she lives in.
Oh?
No. And if you can find her, and if you are the judge of female pulchritude I think you are, if you're half the charmer that I know you are, well, maybe you can take your choice. Huh? Your regular commission on that nearly $200,000, or the hand of the beautiful widow herself? Maybe both. So what do you say? You want to have a look?
You've talked me into it.
It's no joke that years ago, traveling salesmen were greeted with great delight at most farms. Widely separated from friends, no telephone, no radio, no ready communication of any kind with other people, farm folks were as pleased at the prospect of company as they were at the prospect of looking at new merchandise. A bit of company to lighten up the morning's work is still a pleasure to folks at home. That's why so many of them make a weekday habit of the CBS radio network's daytime stars. Arthur Godfrey, Art Linkletter, Gary Moore, Bing Crosby, and Rosemary Clooney, a host of sparkling company literally at their fingertips. And what's happened to the traveling salesman? Well, you'll find any number of them driving along the highway on a weekday morning enjoying company of their own choosing. Arthur Godfrey, Art Linkletter, Gary Moore, Bing Crosby, and Rosemary Clooney. When it comes to pleasant company, no matter who you are or where you live or what you're doing, you'll find a morning full of it every day, Monday through Friday, here at the Stars address.
Expense account item 2. After the lunch with Bert Helfer, another buck for another taxi, this time to the rather seedy Cosgrave apartment. There I learned from a doorman that Mrs. Jerry Nichols...
Only, now, you see, everybody calls her Miss Lucy Harmon again. You see what I mean?
That Lucy Harmon hadn't been around for several days. However, there was nothing unusual about that. She'd been going away quite frequently of late. He didn't know where, though. To make sure that we were talking about the same person, I showed him the picture Bert had given me, and after a long, wistful look at it...
Yep, that's her, all right. Sure is mighty beautiful, ain't she?
As beautiful as this picture seems to show her?
A lot more than that shows, mister. You ask me, there's nobody else like her in this whole entire world.
Yeah, well...
I can't say I blame a young fellow like you wanting to meet up with her.
Tell me this.
You're the first one to come to see her, you know. At least that I know of. She's been living here close to 5 months now. You know, since that husband of hers died out west somewhere, she had to sell off that house they had to give her some living money.
Look, my name is Dollar. I'm an insurance investigator.
Invest? You mean like a private eye?
Well, something like that. Look, here are my credentials.
Hey, now, how about that?
Yeah, so, what I would like is, to have the key to Miss Harmon's apartment.
Well, now, wait a minute, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you got some kind of warrant from the police or something, mister.
Oh.
What?
Imagine that 5-spot that just fluttered down. You always go around dropping $5 bills on the floor of this lobby?
Oh, no, what do you know? Sure looks like somebody dropped one, don't it?
Well, I hope you're not going to just leave it there.
Well, as long as you don't claim it.
Not me.
And here. But, just the same, mister, if the boss ever found out I let you in her apartment, I mean without a warrant or something.
Now, look at that. Is that another 5-spot I see? Or maybe it's that warrant or something you're talking about.
Now, of course, the light in here ain't so good. Here, now, I'll tell you what, mister.
Yeah?
You, sort of want to look after these keys of mine while I look at these things outside in the daylight?
Good idea.
And, of course, if maybe you should find another one of these 5-spots.
Could be.
Maybe upstairs, around apartment number 4A.
I'll let you know. Item 3, obviously, is $15 for a warrant or something. Apartment 4A was not exactly an orderly one. Apparently only a temporary affair for Lucy Harmon. Most of her clothes were still in a couple of open wardrobe trunks in the middle of the living room floor. Handbags and shoes, lingerie, stockings scattered about instead of tucked away in drawers and closets. So maybe she figured on going away and living somewhere else after collecting the insurance money. And why not? But these frequent trips, why? And to where? Then in a purse inside one of the handbags, I found a possible clue. Not that folder for an airplane ticket. That meant nothing because it gave no indication of a destination. But some money. Not very much, and there was nothing unusual about the $22 in bills. No, it was the pennies and nickels and silver. In spite of the dates on them, and some of them were pretty old, those coins were as clean and shiny as though they'd just come out of the mint. That rang the bell. A big one. Okay. Item 4 is $6 for a cab out to Bradley Field. Item 5, $175.70 plane fare, and I was on my way. Frankly, it wasn't until after we got airborne that I began to kick myself for having so little to go on. But after a brief stopover in Chicago for more passengers that I slept through, and only a little while before we got to the end of the line, I woke up and did a double take. Among the new passengers, up near the front, was, believe it or not, the girl I was looking for. Lucy Harmon. No question of it. And the old doorman back at the apartment had been right. There couldn't possibly be another girl so beautiful. And she matched the picture I had exactly. The seat beside her was empty, and my impulse was to barge up to her, introduce myself, and tell her what it was all about. But then a little bell in the back of my head kind of tinkled again, so instead, on the excuse of going up forward to pick a magazine out of the rack, and then on the further excuse of a completely non-existent bump in the air, I half stumbled and half fell into that empty seat. Whoop! Oh, terribly sorry. I got in the way of my own feet. Oh, I'm afraid I tore this newspaper you were reading. Can I get you another one?
No, it doesn't really matter. I was only...
What's the matter?
Well, I've seen you somewhere before. I'm sure of it.
Well, I can't imagine where.
What's your name?
My name? Well,
No, wait. I remember now. I've seen your picture in the papers.
You have?
It's one of those crime things a couple of months ago.
Oh, on my honor, miss, I'm an honest man.
No, you know what I mean. You're the... Of course I know who you are. You're Johnny Dollar, the insurance investigator. Well, aren't you?
I cannot tell a lie.
Oh, Johnny, I am so glad to see you. May I call you Johnny?
Why, of course you can.
Maybe you can help me. Johnny, can you? Or have they got you all tied up in some insurance case that'll take all of your time? Are you staying over in San Francisco?
Probably.
On a case?
Well, just a little investigation for one of the insurance companies.
But maybe you'll have some time to help me, too? Please?
Well, that depends. What seems to be the problem, Miss,
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't even think. My name is Edith.
What?
Edith Harmon.
Edith?
Well, you look surprised.
Oh, I didn't mean to.
Oh, of course. Coming from Hartford yourself, you probably know her.
Her?
My sister, my twin sister that I'm going to San Francisco to look for.
Your twin sister?
Yes. Her name is Lucy. Lucy Harmon.
So that was it. Lucy Harmon's twin. And every bit as beautiful as Lucy's picture. What if this trip across the country had been nothing more than a hunch? If it meant working hand in hand with a doll like this, I should have more of them.
Now listen, Johnny.
Oh, I'm all ears.
I've been worried about Lucy ever since Jerry, her husband, died in a terrible accident, so I went to Hartford to see her.
Oh?
But she wasn't there, and nobody seemed to know where she'd gone or why. That worried me all the more, so I flew to Chicago, where she and Jerry had lived once. But no sign of her. Nobody knew anything about her.
Oh.
Well, then I remembered they used to have a lot of friends in San Francisco in the old days, so I figured if they're still here, she might have come here to see them.
Good thinking. Do you know your way around San Francisco?
Oh, yes, very well.
All right, then.
Oh, darn it.
What?
Oh, the light is on to fasten our seatbelts.
Oh.
That means we're about to land, so there's no time to talk now. But listen, where will you be staying?
The Huntington, up on Nob Hill.
All right. I'll be at the Sheraton Palace. And, Johnny.
Yeah?
Would you take me to dinner tonight so I can tell you the rest and we can sort of organize our plans? That is, if you will help me.
Well, you know I will, Edith.
All right, then I'll call you at the Huntington as soon as I can unpack and dress. You can come over and meet me.
All right.
Then I'll see you tonight. All right?
All right. It wasn't necessary to go back to my own seat, but I did. And that's why she was able to get off the plane well ahead of me. Why she was long gone by the time I got through to the baggage pickup stand. And now, suddenly, things began to add up. As soon as I got to the Huntington, I put in a long-distance call. That's item 6, 375.
Johnny, where the devil are you? What are you up to?
Plenty, Bert. I'm calling from San Francisco.
Huh?
Yes, now listen. You can tell me just two things.
Well, sure, if I can.
All right, now.
In spite of the fact it's long after working hours back here, and I ought to charge you overtime for my valuable services.
Bert.
But what in the name of common sense are you doing in San Francisco?
Bert, will you listen? Two questions.
Shoot.
At Lucy Harmon's apartment, before I left there, I told the doorman that if Lucy showed up, he was to call you immediately.
The answer to that one is no. I haven't heard a word from him.
All right, then. Now, question number 2.
Yeah?
How well do you know Lucy's twin sister, Edith?
Lucy has a sister? A twin? Are you kidding?
That's all I wanted to know. Item 7, 10 cents for another call, this one to the Sheraton Palace. As I fully expected now, and Edith Harmon had not registered there. Okay. A simple little clue. A few coins in Lucy Harmon's purse there in her Hartford apartment got me this far, and if I was lucky, would now lead me to Lucy herself. I tore on over to the St. Francis Hotel. There I flashed my credentials at the desk clerk, showed him the picture I carried.
Yes, Mr. Dollar, the woman in the picture and her husband have been with us for quite some time now.
And her husband?
Her name is Mrs. Charles Kenworthy. Beautiful, isn't she?
Mrs. Charles Kenworthy.
You sound as though you think she might be someone else.
Well, I know darn well she is.
Really?
Do they, live here all the time?
Well, actually, she seems to be away a good deal.
Oh, she does?
And as for Mr. Kenworthy, well, I've seen him so seldom since they moved in. And with that beard he's growing.
Well, he wears a beard now.
Well, what I mean is that if he were to walk up to this desk, I'm not even sure I'd recognize him.
Then it all figures.
What, sir?
Is he in the room now?
Well, I can call and find out.
No, don't bother.
I do know that she came in a few minutes ago.
All right, then. Let me have the number of the room. The transom over the door of the room was wide open. The sound effects were loud and clear, of drawers being hastily emptied, of clothes being yanked off hangers, and finally the unmistakable sound of suitcases being closed and locked and pushed over toward the door, and the conversation that leaked out over that transom.
Yes, I did exactly as always. I stayed over in Chicago long enough to be sure that nobody was following me the way I always do.
Well, a lot of good it did. Johnny Dollar aboard the same plane. Now, look, if he's in this time, I want out. Didn't you see him, Lucy? Didn't you have sense enough to get off and take another flight?
And he doesn't suspect a thing, and by the time he finds out I have no sister, that insurance money on your debt will have been paid and we'll be out of the country. Why should he suspect anything?
Well, I still don't like his being around here. If he finds out I'm still alive...
Relax, will you? Right now, he's quietly sitting in his room over there at the Huntington, waiting for me to call him.
Yeah, that was another stupid thing to do, Lucy. When he doesn't hear from you, if he's half as smart as I've heard he is, oh, let it go. Everything packed?
Yes, everything.
You have the money ready so we can pay off the clerk without wasting any time?
Yes, but if you're so scared, why don't we just sneak out the back way?
What, and make everybody suspicious of us? You are out of your mind. Now open the door for me and let's get out of here.
Anything you say, my pet. Johnny.
What?
Johnny Dollar.
That's right, Lucy.
Johnny Dollar. Out of my way, Lucy.
Hold it. Don't reach for anything but the ceiling, Jerry.
Okay, Dollar. You win.
Yes, Bert. That fatal accident of Jerry Nichols was a complete phony. He simply slid his car over the cliff into the ocean and dropped out of sight.
So that Lucy would be able to collect on his policy.
Right. One of the oldest gags of all.
Well, Johnny, baby, drink up, huh? You know something? You have saved the company 191 G's.
Except for my expense account. And, my commission?
Oh, just add them up and, I'll send you a check.
Then the lunch is on me, Bert.
Now listen, tell me something. Whatever sent you on out to San Francisco? And how under the sun did you ever know to look for them at the St. Francis?
A handful of coins she'd left there in her apartment from one of her previous trips.
A handful of coins?
Just as bright and as shiny as the day they were stamped out by the U.S. Mint. In spite of the age of some of them.
I don't get it.
Look, Bert. That nice, clean money is a kind of a trademark for the St. Francis. All the change they give you is carefully cleaned and polished. Once you've been there and been handed some of it, you'll never forget it. It's as easy as that. Yep, one of the oldest rackets of the bunch. But they still keep trying it. And getting caught. Expense account total, in addition to that nice, juicy commission, oh, call it $400 even. Yours truly, Johnny Dollar.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is written by Jack Johnstone, produced and directed by Bruno Zerato Jr., music supervision by Ethel Huber. Johnny Dollar is played by Mandel Kramer. Also featured in our cast were Terry Keane as Lucy Harmon, William Redfield as Bert Helfer, Larry Haynes as Jerry Nichols, Doug Parkhurst as the doorman, Herb Duncan as the clerk. Be sure to join us next week, same time, same station, for another exciting story of Yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Art Hannah speaking.
Okay, now we've heard it. The interesting thing about this program, those coins that had been washed, that was not made up. The St. Francis Hotel actually did wash and polish their coins. The story that I've been able to figure out is that back in the 30s and the 40s and 50s, they had presentations for some of the higher echelons of society. And the women, when they would come for these shows, they would be wearing their white gloves because everybody wore gloves back then. And the hotel did not want them to get their gloves dirty by handling the coins. So every day they washed and polished the coins. Now, you don't believe it? Go to YouTube and look up St. Francis Hotel washing coins. There's a video out there that shows how they still do that up until today. Now, after the dust has settled, there are still 3 missing programs from the Mandel Kramer run. The Clever Crook matter, the Quiet Little Town in New Jersey matter, and the Gold Rush Country matter. 3 programs that are missing. Or are there? In June of 2025, Joe found yet another lost episode. We got to put him on the payroll. You know, he just keeps finding this stuff. This one, though, was hiding in plain sight under the wrong title. So if you remember that list that we had at the beginning, the Clever Crook matter, that was replaced with the correct title, the Safe at Home matter. So that only leaves 2 programs in the Kramer area to be found. That Quiet Little Town in New Jersey, which I question, I just don't feel right about that title, and the Gold Rush Country matter. But the search continues. You know, every stream has millions of rocks, and if we look hard enough, we'll find one of those rocks is really gold, and we'll have another treasure. These programs that have been found mean that the Bob Reddick and Mandel Kramer series of programs are 98% accounted for and accurately titled, although I need some more data about the actual dates of the programs. That's not bad for a program or a project I've been working on for over 25 years. Didn't do it alone. I had a lot of help. Bill Brooks, Stuart Wright, Joe Webb, Carl Shadow, many, many more. If I had to name all the people that helped me, I'd still be talking tomorrow morning. But they all contributed to the final product. Now comes the most anticipated slide of any of my presentations. The end. So with that being the case, I'm going to stop sharing here. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, well, now's your time. Kelly.
Okay. Okay. Hi. Okay. That was great. That was very cool because Johnny Dollar is such a great show. One question about identifying the dates. There are newspaper databases where they would have the listings. Are those
This one's not listed.
okay? Okay. And secondly, when the one was preempted for Bing Crosby, should we just assume that they did it later, so it's not a missing one?
No, actually, if you go back to your collection of Johnny Dollar programs, the phony phone matter, at the end of it, Mandel Kramer says, next week we will not have a program because you're going to be listening to Bing Crosby. But I'll be back in 2 weeks with another adventure.
Got
So
it.
there was no program
No
there.
program. Okay, okay. Well, that's very. And I'm glad that I'm glad that one more mystery was solved. Then I mean the show, but also this missing show. So thank you so much.
Yeah, I've spent the past I guess 3 or 4 days this week searching through the newspaper databases. There's some strange stuff happening there. But this program, because it was never cataloged, never circulated, nobody knew about it, papers apparently forgotten about it. So Joe found it and it's out there. And now one thing I will mention is that this was what is called an air check. It was recorded live off the air, sat on a magnetic tape for 60 years, and Joe pulled a few rabbits out of a few hats to get it as presentable as it was. So it's a little bit rough in places, but still, you can hear what's going on. You can follow the storyline.
For sure. Okay. Well, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you very much, John. It's wonderful. And I was struck by how good the sound quality is, because some of the Johnny Dollar shows or recordings that they've played on the big broadcast are the quality is really sketchy.
Oh, yes.
In places. It's not throughout any episode that they air. But I was really struck by the quality of this. So, and hats off to your research.
Well, I would all to Joe. He's the bane of my existence sometimes, but he pulls that rabbit out of the proverbial hat and keeps me honest. Reasonably honest anyway.
He does his best.
And one of the you're talking about quality. When I first started working on my Johnny Dollar project back in, I think it was 1999, I collected a bunch of programs and the audio quality was absolutely horrendous, which is one of the reasons why I wrote the book, because you couldn't hear what was going on. Nowadays, we have much better audio out there. So if I just come across Johnny Dollar today, I wouldn't write the book because I wouldn't need to.
Well, I'm grateful that you did have the poor quality, so you could write the book. Does anyone else have any questions or curiosities or observations for John? Wow, you've rendered them speechless. Oh,
no, Frank's got his finger up. He's pointing it at me.
Up.
Hi, John. First of all, it was an excellent program that you put together. Secondly, Johnny Dollar is always everybody's favorite. Thirdly, how many times did people drive off the road in California and Johnny found that they hadn't really died? I think of the confidential matter for one in particular.
I was just going to mention that was, when I heard this program, I said, hey, Johnstone's done that before. And like so many others, there are so many elements of a lot of his programs. You can find them in other stories, change the name, the place, and the circumstances. But there's only so many ways you can kill a person or fake a death or whatever. But yeah, the confidential matter is one of those where the car went off the cliff and the driver didn't.
Except at the end. Except at the end in that one.
Yeah.
It did go off the road. She died and he didn't.
Yep.
Well, I liked the twin sister thing on the airplane. I thought that was rather clever. Although it turned out to be a lie. Anyone else? Any other questions? I was starting to say you have rendered this group. Wayne.
As an insurance investigator, is there any indication that he would carry a sidearm? I mean, if he found the two of them in the hotel room, how was he going to stop them from getting away?
Yeah, Johnny Dollar, throughout the entire run, always carried a sidearm. When Bob Bailey was playing the role, he had his lemon squeezer, which was a hammerless 5-shot 38 revolver. And other he's used a 45, he's used a 38 automatic, he's used all sorts of things. But yeah, he regularly carried a sidearm. He didn't mention it in this story, but push come to shove, yeah, he probably would have made its appearance.
That was my assumption when he entered the hotel room. It was in his pocket somewhere.
Yep.
Well, John, you have rendered them speechless, which I think is quite remarkable.
Now the question is, are they still awake?
Don't know how to unmute. So either way, it is wonderful, and I know this is going to make a wonderful YouTube episode for the club. And thank you very, very much for stepping forward and doing this and sharing your discovery, yours and Joe Webb's discovery with the club. Very much appreciated.
I owe it all to Frank for giving me the slot.
Yeah.
He could have put me off until August of next year, but he didn't.
Well, we know what's important, and this is a great way to start off the new year.
Absolutely.
So hats off to you, as always, John. So now, next up is our own Kelly, Queen Kelly, because we are bending with curiosity, as Lewis Carroll would have said, to know the answers to the quiz.
Okay.
So please take it away, Kelly.
Okay, thank you so much. And the quiz has been up for about 47 minutes. I'm going to end the poll now. So I hope anyone who wanted to register their answers has done so. So end poll, and now share results. Do you all see? Okay, great. Okay, good. Okay, so here we go. Actors and their roles. Question 1, that Dick Powell was Richard Diamond, but he was also the star of what other program? And every answer got at least 1 vote. But in this case, let me see, not a majority, but Rogues Gallery, which is the correct answer, did get more votes than any other one. So it was indeed C, which is Rogues Gallery, even though Night Beat, This Is the Story, and The Lineup did get some votes. Question 2, Raymond Burr played Lieutenant Hellman on which of these programs? 3 of the 4 answers are kind of evenly spread out. Some thought it was Fort Laramie, and several votes for both Police Story and Pat Novak for Hire. Nobody thought it was Gunsmoke, and it was not Gunsmoke. But again, in this case, the not a majority, but I guess 5 out of 14 who voted got the correct answer, which was D. Pat Novak for Hire is the correct answer. Question 3, Georgia Ellis was Miss Kitty on Gunsmoke, and where else was she in the cast? Once again, there were votes for all of these. 1 for Night Editor, a couple for Rogers of the Gazette and Big Town. The majority went with The Big Story, but in this case, Bragging rights go to the two of you who said A, Rogers of the Gazette. So good job to those two of you. Number 4, and this is one of the two that I had the answer to, but anyway, Clarence Hartzell was Ben Withers on Lum and Abner. On what show was he Uncle Fletcher? Nobody thought he was on Father Knows Best. The majority thought Vic and Sade. A couple for Fibber McGee and Molly, one for Life of Riley. He was indeed Sade's Uncle Fletcher on Vic and Sade, and 10 out of 14 of you guessed that correctly, so good job. Question 5. Want to hear Brian Donlevy in a lead role? Then listen to one of these. Once again, every single answer had a few, at least one person voting for it. So one thought it was Calling All Cars, another thought it was Indictment, a handful thought it was I Was a Communist for the FBI. Most of you, however, were correct that it was indeed B. Dangerous Assignment was the other show with Brian Donlevy in a lead role. Question 6. Arthur Q. Bryan was Doc Gamble on Fibber, McGee, and Molly. He was also one to play Lieutenant Walt Levinson on this show. Once again, and good job, Frank, because when every answer gets at least a vote or two, that's a good sign of a well-made quiz. So one thought it was This Is Your FBI. Someone else went for FBI in Peace and War. A couple thought Dragnet. The majority, however, again, was correct. So good to you all who came up with Richard Diamond, Private Detective, because that is indeed the correct answer. Question 7. Before he played the governor of Hawaii on TV's Hawaii Five-0, Richard Denning was a co-star of this show. Nobody thought that it was Meet the Meeks, but one thought it was Granby's Green Acres, and otherwise people were evenly divided between Mr. and Mrs. North and the couple next door. And the correct answer is A. He played Jerry North on Mr. and Mrs. North. So good to the 7 out of 15 of you who went with A. Question 8. John Dehner was everywhere on radio, but where was he as Jeremy Kendall? Nobody thought he was on the 6-shooter, and indeed it is not the 6-shooter. One went for Death Valley Days, one went for Have Gun Will Travel, but overwhelmingly, you all had the correct answer with C, Frontier Gentleman. He was Jeremy Kendall. Question 9. Virginia Gregg was also everywhere on radio, but where was she the gruff-voiced Evangeline Parker? And again, every answer had at least a couple of votes. A couple said it was Little Orphan Annie, 2 for Night Watch, 2 for Aramis Brooks, and just over half went with the story of Dr. Kildare. And those of you who went with Dr. Kildare were correct. That was the Virginia Gregg show where she was Evangeline Parker. Last but not least, we all know Jack Webb was Sergeant Friday. On what show did he work for the Lion's Eye? Nobody thought that it was the Jack Webb show, and it was not the Jack Webb show. A couple went for Johnny Madero, Pier 23, a handful for Pete Kelly's Blues. But again, a majority went for Jeff Regan, Investigator, and applause to those of you who chose C, Jeff Regan, Investigator, because that is indeed where he worked for the Lion's Eye. So great job to you all on the quiz, and again, thank you, Frank, for a quiz that people had some answers, but also a lot of plausible incorrect answers. So thanks so much.
Yes, and thank you both for all of that, and that is great. Let's see. I'm not sure if the poll is actually closed. All right, closed. Well, thank you. That is just wonderful. It's that concludes our broadcast part of this meeting.